Yes? Hello. Do you think you could spare a moment of your day to talk about shitty horror films? Um, I'm sorry? Shitty horror films. You know, really bad, laughable, horrible horror films. Yeah, okay, sure. Yes, thank you, thank you. Oh, you hear that? Let's see. Oh yeah. Man, I am crackly. Whew. Hi guys. So, excuse my dorky intro for this video, but I thought it would be fun to film a dumb intro, so I did. But this video is going to be about, as you may have guessed already, really shitty horror movies, and brought to you in front of my fireplace because it's warm and I like fire, so that's why the change of location today. But I have a stack here, as you can see, of movie packs. Now these are something I collect, and this would be anything from, it looks like, 6 to 13 horror films on 1 to 2 discs, and they are bad, let me tell you. They're so bad. And I know that might sound kind of weird, like, why would you want to watch really bad horror films? But I would like to say, why would you not want to watch really bad horror films? They are some of the most entertaining things I have ever seen in my life. And every once in a while, you actually come across something that's actually kind of scary, or is just pretty good in general. But today I'm just going to talk about some of them that are on these specific discs that I have. If you guys are interested, I would happily talk about movies that I've seen on Netflix. I've seen a lot of bad horror films on Netflix, and I have been pleasantly surprised by a lot of horror films on Netflix. So if you would like to hear about that, let me know in the comments. And also, if you are interested in hearing about movies that I actually like and that I think are good horror movies, again, let me know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in, because I have seen a lot of horror movies that I absolutely love. So without any further ado, I'm just going to take you through some of the best of the worst of my horror film collection. The Scared Silly 13 Classic Horror Comedies. Now this is a set that, unlike the others, admits to the fact that it is just bad, and it is funny because of that. So all of these movies are actually really old. These are the ones that are all like from between the 60s and a couple 80s, some even from like early as the 40s, and wow, like, wow. The best one on this disc is, without a doubt, The Creeping Terror from 1964. A spacecraft lands in the remote area outside of a small California town, and a hideous creature emerges which begins to devour members of the local community. The newlywed sheriff discovers the victims and is stunned when the killer is revealed to be an alien creature. Our hero must put a stop to the rampaging monster before anyone else can fall victim to the alien. Now, I looked this one up on IMDb, which I do with a lot of the movies I watch, just to get interesting tidbits about the making of and such. Someone stole the prop for the alien in this movie a couple of days before shooting, and they legitimately replaced it with a bunch of people stuck under a bunch of quilts that they had sewn together. There are multiple occurrences where you can see the feet of the people walking under the giant blanket that they are using as the creeping terror, and it's beautiful. But I heard or read that a lot of the movie's budget went into making the original creature, and apparently that was pretty good. And I think fate just stepped in and said, no, you know what? I think you should put a bunch of guys under a quilt, and I think that should be the creature. You can see when it eats people, they are legitimately just like laying on the ground, climbing into its open mouth. It's really funny. So yes, definitely if you can find The Creeping Terror, I highly suggest that one for a laugh. So the big box came actually as a set of 2, so here's the other one. And this one only has 4 movies on it, but there is one on here that I am honored to share with you. It is called Dogman. Now, I'll read you the synopsis first, and then I'll give you some background because Dogman is actually a legend that is very, very popular right here where I live. Are you kidding me? It's my fucking refrigerator. I am sorry for the weird noise my fridge is making, but I don't feel like stopping and waiting for it to stop, because who knows when that will be. So, alright, back to the Dogman. So, a vicious, bacteria-ridden creature stalks its prey in the woods of a rural Michigan community. Now, I believe that the story is set in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I'm from Michigan myself, naturally from the Lower Peninsula, but I go to school up here in the Yup. And so I already knew about the Dogman. I already knew the legend of the Dogman. I've heard the song. If you haven't, you should hear it, because it creeped me out a lot when I was a kid. And it actually started out as an April Fool's Day joke from the singer, but people took it for serious, and now it's a legitimate legend around here that there is a Dogman, or Dogmen, wandering around our woods and killing people. I believe every 7 or every 14 years it comes around. There's a time thing on that. But this movie, I believe it was filmed, I think, in the Upper Peninsula. It looks a lot like the Upper Peninsula. Oh my gosh. Like 10 out of 10 in terms of shitty horror films. It is one of the best ones I have seen so far. It was a riot to watch. I actually had a bunch of friends with me when I first watched it, which is always the best way to watch these. Like, I'll watch them on my own, and if you really appreciate them, that's great. But if you got a bunch of people who don't want to take it seriously with you and are just there to laugh and make fun of it, it's a good time. So this film is just full of randomness. The Dogman, and oh, when I say the Dogman, I mean a guy in a fucking werewolf costume. And when I say that, I don't even mean a good one. I mean rubber mask and paw mitten hands. In fact, they might have actually not been attached to a person because they looked more like paws on a stick, because there's only a couple parts where you actually see the beast. One is in a reflection, and it is obviously like a mask, like a rubber werewolf head mask that you get at the Halloween store. And to make its ears move, I shit you not, they tied string to its ears so that they were like this, and then they were like, boop. The paws just kind of move all stiff and just kind of whack. It's like they took a stuffed animal's hands. Not even like a real stuffed thing, but like a stuffed animal's from like Toys R Us, and just threw his hand out there and was like, oh, so ferocious and scary. Terrifying. And anybody who has had the privilege of seeing Escanaba in the Moonlight, who knows of the main character's wife, Wolf Moondance, oh, she made it into this movie as the stereotypical Native American woman who knows the legends from the ancient tribal book that she has, and she knows what to do when the wolf starts going after people, which I think is really funny because the Wolfman was invented in, I believe, the 70s or the 80s, not way, way, way back when with the Native Americans. So it is so worth the watch, and I have seen it more than once. Usually if it's really bad, I'll watch it once. It's hard to watch him again, but the Wolfman, the Dogman, I wonder how many times I've said that wrong. Dogman is amazing. And yeah, this one has actually quite a few. This is one of my favorite ones because we also have Monsters in the Woods, and I think, yeah, Monsters in the Woods was a good one. Your very, very typical story of it's actually a story of a horror movie shoot that goes horribly wrong, and again, the monster makeup is horrible and hilarious, and just, like, you wonder how these things ever really get made, but at the same time, I'm thankful they do. Here's another one that is actually a set of 8 horror classics. Now these are, again, supposed to be classic horror films, like Dracula 2000, The Prophecy with Christopher Walken, let's see, From Dusk Until Dawn, which is supposed to be a classic, but I'm sorry if anyone has actually seen From Dusk Until Dawn. Let me read you this. 2 kidnappers, George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino, so like that sounds like a good start, right? Take their hostages to a seedy Mexican bar where they face its bloodthirsty clientele. Now, if you like Mexico and you like strip clubs and boobs and weird, creepy, like slightly good and slightly bad criminals and things of that nature, and road trips, this is the movie for you. And it's definitely the movie for you if you like it when all of this kind of goes into a clusterfuck of vampireness. Because that's pretty much what it is. It is so weird, and I love George Clooney, like, he was awesome in it. But yeah, it's one of the weirder movies I've seen, let me tell you. And it's supposed to be a classic. Like, it's been on Netflix a lot, and again, it's like in a classic pack. It's supposed to be like this classic horror film from dusk till dawn. It's weird. It's really weird. But I quite enjoyed it, regardless of the amount of stripper vampires. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with stripper vampires. I'm cool with that, but it was unexpected to say the least. Immortality is a vampire film with Jude Law. He is a seductive vampire who always gets what he wants and finds his latest conquest to be frustratingly elusive. So yeah, that one is also, like, I considered that to be pretty good. I enjoyed watching it. Jude Law, sexy vampire who is constantly taking victims to seduce and then eat, of course. But it has a lot of interesting plot points to it, and a bit of a romance kind of happens, so, like, that one's not bad. It's not laughable, like some that I would say are on here. And another one that I thought was really interesting on this one is called The Reflecting Skin, and it says it's about The Reflecting Skin, which is about a mischievous boy who blames the terrible death around him on his widowed neighbor, who he believes is a vampire. And this movie actually stars Viggo Mortensen as the big brother of the boy, and I had to actually read a bunch of different things trying to figure out what exactly this movie was about, because you get the idea that it's more of a metaphor than an actual monster story, and it's really interesting. So yeah, if you get a chance to check that one out, if you like vampires and movies that are, like, they have deeper meanings and stuff, it definitely does. It's filmed really interestingly. It doesn't look like, you know, every other movie that's out there. Yeah, that was an interesting film. So, and this whole disc has some really good ones on it, or like some of the better ones that I've seen on it, so I was pretty happy with that one. And the last one I have to show you is called Where Evil Lies, and it's got 6 films on it, all of which pretty good. First of all, I'd like to call out Candy Stripers. This is about an alien spacecraft that lands in a small California town, its passengers on a mission to take over the world. Their first stop is the local hospital, where they inhabit the bodies of comely candy stripers, turning them into voracious sexual predators on the lookout for men to use as breeders for their alien race. Only an injured basketball player and his friends see their wicked plan. It's exactly what you think it is. It is a bunch of college-age girls who work at the hospital as candy stripers, and they turn into crazy alien people and screw guys, and then it's like the whole chest burster thing where the aliens just eat their way out, and it's goofy and badly acted and wonderful. So that is another one that is pretty fun. It's a movie about alien hospital nurses who sex people to death. So yeah, if you have any bad horror movies to share with me, like, let me know in the comments below. I would love to look them up and watch them, and I'll let you know how I liked them. So yeah, leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite bad or good horror films are. I don't care which. Let me know if you want to see any more videos that are similar to this about good horror films that I like, or other bad horror films that I like, or whatever. Makeup, or hauls, or tags, or challenges, whatever you want to see, you let me know, because if you want to see it, I would be happy to do it for you. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you later, guys. Bye.